Riding through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. I always had problems with that. It's like, first of all, isn't that kind of extreme? You don't like the rain, so you're going to go to the desert? You know? It's like saying, oh man, it's 80 degrees and humid today. I think I'll go live in Antarctica. There you can find a happy medium. Um, and usually the way to make a medium happy is to give her a big tip after she tells you you're going to meet a tall, dark, and handsome man. And I don't know, I was going to say maybe that means you're going to meet Shaquille O'Neal, but he's not really that handsome. Anyway, and the other problem I always had with that song is what kind of a jackass doesn't name his horse? You know, here's that animal. It's being nice and giving you a ride out into the desert. And I'm sure horses aren't that wild about the desert, but he's giving you a ride, and you just call him horse. You know. Anyway, I just was, as I am doing 80% of my life, I was looking at YouTube, and I saw a David Letterman video, and it reminded me of my my personal relationship with David Letterman. I remember, pretty sure I did already tell you all about going to see Letterman in New York that time, but I remember I was living in Pittsburgh when they announced that David Letterman was going to be having a late night talk show, 12:30, NBC, right after the Johnny Carson Tonight Show. And I was like, oh, great, I like David Letterman. And I always remember, I don't remember when this was quite a while ago. I might have been like around 1923 or so. But anyway, so whatever day that was starting, whatever date it was, I remember tuning in that Monday night. I probably watched the Tonight Show, and I'm waiting for Dave to come out afterwards, and the Pittsburgh TV station showed like an old Knight Rider episode or something, and I thought, what the heck's going on? And I sat there thinking maybe someone flipped the switch wrong, but Dave never came on. So the next day I decided to call the station. I forget what station, what the name of the NBC station is in Pittsburgh. What channel was on? Let's see. KDKA is 2, that's CBS. 4 is ABC. NBC is 6 in Johnstown, but I think they changed their name now, but it was WIIC. I remember that because it was Channel 11, and so it was basically they were doing like a play on W11. Anyway, so I called WIIC, I think it was, and got the programming department. And I said to a guy, saw where David Letterman was supposed to have a show start last night, and instead you showed some crappy old syndicated show. And he said to me, well, sir, David Letterman had a morning show on, and it did not do well. And I said, well, I don't mean to tell you your business, but do you realize there's a whole different audience at 12:30 at night than there is at 10 a.m. And he's like, well, we just don't think that it was worth it for us to have that show on because it's not going to do well. And I said, well, we'll see. And of course, Dave took late night by storm. And a week later, the next Monday, 12:30, hey, there's David Letterman. And I waited and I waited for that guy to call me back and apologize for being so condescending. And he never did, which is kind of annoying. And, it's just, this has been one of the banes of my existence. I keep telling people how brilliant I am, and they just won't listen to me. If WIIC had consulted me, I would have told them to put Letterman on the air right at the beginning, and they probably would have made more money off those commercials than they did off of the old Bonanza reruns or whatever they were doing. But what can I say? People just will not listen. So yeah, and I guess it's kind of like that horse riding through the desert with no name. Actually, it's nothing like that. I don't even know why I picked that song. It just came to me. But I did like America. They were good. So yeah, that was my very exciting story about David Letterman first coming on the air. Anybody got any questions? Peace out.